Hello and
Hello.
welcome to video 3 of our How to Crochet series. What are we doing today, Susan?
We're doing treble crochet today, or double crochet in the States.
Yeah, American terminology. It would be double, but in English, British terminology, they're called trebles.
They're trebles, yes. So in English terminology, we've done a double and we're now doing a treble, and in American terminology, we have done a single and are now going to do a double.
So what is the difference between a double and a treble?
Well, just to look at, a treble is actually higher.
Oh, taller.
It's just taller. So the little columns, and the more times you wrap your yarn around the hook, which we'll do in a minute, the taller the stitch. It's quite exciting.
Very exciting. Quite exciting. Excellent. Well, should we just get on with it then?
I think we should just get on with it.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, we'll just switch the camera over.
Yeah, so should I just say, I think the trebles are sort of the mainstay of crochet stitches, really. It's what you think of when you look at crochet.
Yeah.
And granny squares, obviously.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, we can do a granny square. Excellent. Okay, cool. See you in a sec. Right then, Susan, so you've got a chain, yeah?
I've got a chain, yeah, and now I'm going to make some trebles directly into the chain. So the first thing is that when you're doing trebles on a base chain, you have a turning chain like with double crochet. It'll be more apparent when we get on to doing the rows and things, but what it means from the base chain is that you work your first stitch into the fourth chain from the hook, and the 3 that you've left unworked essentially become your first treble. So we go 1, 2, 3, and this is 4. So that's where we're working. You're right, what's wrong?
Yeah, so when we did doubles, wasn't it just the second chain from the hook?
Yes, it was. That is correct.
Well, yes. So why is it 4? Why is it not 3?
For what?
Trebles.
Well, it is 3 because you're missing 3, so that becomes your first stitch.
Oh, you're going in there. Okay, yeah. Cool.
So a treble is equivalent to, in terms of height, is equivalent to 3 chains.
Cool.
In terms of measurement of height. We'll talk a bit more about doubles in a minute. But anyway, so this is where you're working into here. Okay, so make sure you know where that is. Now, so before you go into the stitch, you wrap the yarn around the hook in exactly the same way as you always do, from left to right like that. And then you put your hook into the chain, so just under the top V like that. And then, like with a double crochet, you wrap the yarn around the hook and bring it through.
All right, so hang on.
You've got 3 loops on your hook.
Okay, so you're wrapping it before you put it in and after, whereas before it was just after.
So it's exactly the same as a double, except you wrap the yarn around the hook before you put it into the stitch,
Okay, cool.
So you've got 3 loops on your hook, wrap the yarn and bring it through first 2 loops.
Yeah.
And then wrap the yarn and bring it through those 2 loops.
Oh,
okay.
Wow. Okay, cool.
So that is a treble. Okay, and that 3 there, we'll talk about it later, but that counts as you've essentially got 2 trebles there now. So now we're going to work trebles in all of these to the end of the row. So wrap the yarn around the hook, under the V, wrap it round, bring it through 3 loops, through 2 and through 2. And can you see, I'll just work a couple more, that your trebles are little columns. So this is why crochet is quite cool, sort of, is because it's sort of cool is because the stitch is kind of high, so you can get it done a lot quicker than knitting. You can cover a lot more ground, get a lot more acreage in. It is holier, yeah. So there's some holes there, look. But look, can you see how high those stitches are? But look at this, again, with the doubles, tops of stitches always look like that.
Right,
They're always the little V's, yeah. So we're going to work some more. Work to the end of the row, so wrap it round in the stitch.
So it's a less sort of dense fabric than the doubles.
Yeah, it's less dense, yeah. And I actually think these, once you get into a rhythm, I think these are actually in a way quicker to work because it's quite a nice sort of rhythm to them. Through 2, wrap it round.
Excellent.
Okay. So if you're doing a base chain, a pattern will always tell you what to do, but if you've decided you want to have 12 stitches long, with your base chain or your first chain, you need to chain the number of stitches that you want. So say you want 12, so you chain 12 and then you add an extra 2 stitches because they turn into
extra 2.
You add 2. No, add 2 because then you get the other one that turns into the chain 3 for the first stitch. So here, if I'm counting back, this 3 stitches I missed at the beginning count as a stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Look, they're much easier to count because they're much easier to see from the side. Okay. Now I'm just going to turn. So turn as you did before because you work from right to left. Now this is where it's you know, a bit interesting, sort of. So you chain 3. This is your turning chain. 1, 2, 3. So you chained 1 for your double, but for your double you chained 1 and then you worked into the first stitch. So that chain 1 did not count as a stitch. With a treble, that chain 3 does. So we skip the first stitch, or the stitch at the base of chain 3, which is that one there, look, and we work the first or the second stitch. So we're skipping that into there. So wrap the yarn around the hook,
so confusing.
in, it's not, in, around and through and through. And remember, you wrap it, you put it under both V's. It's much, much easier to see here, look, because it's much bigger and holier.
So you don't go in the hole, you go in the V there.
You go under, directly under the V's, like with doubles, but it's much easier to see because the fabric's less dense, they're much taller, it's much easier to see the stitches. Look, you can pull it about a bit. And there we go, and then we've just got another row there. I'm just going to get to the end because I'm just going to show you what everybody always does, or a lot of people do, is they always forget to work the last stitch with trebles in particular, because they don't work their last stitch into the top of the chain 3, i.e. the 3 stitches that you skipped on your first row. So look, that looks as though that's the last stitch there, the last stitch. So I'm going to work my in there. But you need to work into the top of chain 3. This is your chain 3, so wrap the yarn around the hook and just pop it in anywhere there, it doesn't really matter, and then work your last stitch there. So we should still have 13 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and there we go. So that's 2 rows of trebles.
Oh, that's
Super cool, huh?
Yeah, super cool.
Excellent, you can have a go now?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Okay, so I've done a chain of 12.
You've done a chain of 12
because I want to do 10 trebles.
10 trebles, yeah. So that's cool. So you've added 2 extras. So off you go then. Where do you start your first stitch?
So I think I missed 3, 1, 2, 3, and I
Yeah.
put it in there.
Yeah.
But I need to wind the thingy round first.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
That's
4. Is that it
There
there?
we go, yeah. Oh, that's it.
Pull it through.
Well, look, you've got 3 loops on the hook. That's good.
Yeah.
3, 2. Yeah. And do you think that's easier? I think that's easier than the double, actually.
Yeah.
Personally.
I think this is, you know, more what I like doing.
It's more rhythmic, isn't it? I
Yeah.
think. And I think it grows quicker as well.
And so the hook comes through 3 times, which is why you know it's a treble.
Mm.
A bit confusing for you if you're in America, though. It only comes through, yeah, it's only a double.
Yeah, I was
Anyway,
thinking
that's a
3
bit-
loops on the hook treble, but I don't really know why they're called what they are.
Hmm.
Who knows? Oh, you haven't pulled that through. You need to pull that. You need
Oh,
to pull
yeah.
that through.
So if there's
No,
any-
No, just pull that
Oh,
through there.
oh, okay, look. Cool. So that's a hot tip, isn't it? I did that deliberately.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah,
You must always only have one on your
when you finish.
hook at the end. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
1, 2, 3. So fiddly, this first row, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, once you've got this done, it is
1,
it's much
2.
easier.
3. 1,
And your last
2.
chain is kind of a bit small,
3.
isn't it? You got
Yeah.
to sort of
I'll just stick it anywhere, yeah.
force that hook in. Yeah, it's quite big. That's it. Right, we should have a quick count of the stitches
1.
just to make sure this is right.
So we're hoping it's 10, yeah?
Hoping it's 10, including the chain 3 that you've missed. So
Chain
that's-
3, 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Excellent. Good.
So I'm going to turn it round
Perfect. Turn it round. Right.
and I'm going to chain 3, am I?
Chain 3. Yeah. So so if you don't chain 3, it just goes all slopey and funny. It does seem to be odd why you should do this, because it get you to the right height.
So that is the first stitch.
That is the first stitch.
So now I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to go in there,
That is
which is what I wanted to do with the double. So I think,
Yeah, with the double it's not the
2,
same.
3.
Yeah. I think that this is easy because the stitch is just a bit easier to see, aren't they, and everything.
Yeah.
So I've got to this. Look, you're getting quite fast now.
I know. Look at me. Well, not that fast.
Well, you know, but you know, you've got quite a bit. Well, you wouldn't have that much knitting, would you? Even though you're a fast knitter, you wouldn't have that much knitting
What,
done by now,
enough,
would you?
that much height?
Yeah, that much.
It depends if I was doing I'd be using thicker wool. I never knit with than this thin.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just pull that through.
Right. Okay. Where? So that.
So this one's my last one.
That's your
Yeah.
last stitch. Yeah. Okay. Again, if you're not really sure, you're just going to have to count. You know how many stitches you've got.
Oh
dear, what's on there?
I don't know. Do you think I need to do another one?
Just let's have that. Just.
It's very slopey. Why is mine so slopey?
Yeah, you do. It's just So there we go. So it's just in there.
So this, I believe a couple of videos back I said to you, didn't you say to me, just ram it in wherever?
Yeah, you can. Well, you can.
And this is that situation, isn't it? Should I just stick it in there?
In there, that's fine. Oh dear. Right, I think
Nothing
you should
to
count
worry
this at
about.
the end. I think you should still have 10 stitches. But that's good because quite often oh dear, what's happened there?
I don't know.
For Pete's sake,
What have I done?
Just take it out. That's it. There we go.
I found an extra bit of yarn.
Oh dear. There we go.
I think that was you holding it aggressively.
You still got to do that
Oh
last
dear,
stitch again.
what have I done now? What's that? What's that? It's a piece of knitting. Oh, right.
You just pull it out. There we go.
Is this my last stitch again?
Yeah.
Oh, knitting's much easier.
That's what I said.
No, just much better.
Right, just count those stitches.
It's making an arrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look, why is it a pointy arrow?
Well, I can't read anything about that. I mean, it's because once you work the next, because your chain 3 is hanging out that way, but once you work back and you put your stitch in there, it will pull that straight.
Cool.
But look, this is quite interesting. I think this is something to demonstrate with crochet. Is if you sort of think, oh, I've gone wrong, I don't know what's happened there. All you do is just go like that. So you can't drop any stitches like with knitting, just pull it back until you know where you are, put the hook back in, you think, all right, I know what I'm doing now, and off you go again.
Yeah, okay.
And we show this other thing which is quite exciting about crochet. So you just cut the yarn here, once you finish, cut the yarn, and just pull that loop through like so. And that is totally secure, that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, no, it's super cool. Excellent. Well, that's super cool.
Yes,
so
it's quite cool.
I'm just going to show, look, I thought you could see, look, there's my trebles and there's my doubles, so that you can see how much higher the stitches are, can't you? It's probably best to show with Susan's, because,
But I mean, I've pulled back quite a lot of mine now.
Yeah. So that's super cool. That's like what you were saying, that you can get a lot further, a lot quicker. Yeah. The trebles. So next time, I think you should do lots of practicing with that, don't you think?
Yeah.
And then next time we can just talk about the other, because basically that's, I mean, as I did say, once you've done, that's it now. Everything else is just versions of those.
Yeah,
I
think the same can be said of knitting though.
Not really.
I think it can.
And also after that, so next week, not next week, but next time, shall we look at the things like half trebles, double trebles, things like that, and then also look at how you'd read a pattern a bit?
Yeah, I think maybe we could do a granny square.
I was going to say maybe the lesson after we could do a granny square. Or should we do granny square first?
I think we should do granny square first, and we could also do chevrons because they're super easy.
Yeah, and the other thing we need to show you how to join colours, because the most important thing about crochet is doing it in really garish colours.
Why don't we do chevrons?
Chevrons next week, next lesson.
Because I think they're actually easier than granny squares.
Cool.
Excellent. Good.
Excellent. Well, sounds like it's time to go.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
practice.
Bye, then.
Practice.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.